Madden 26 is finally here, so today we're going over the top 15 overpowered new plays that were added to the game this year so you can dominate every opponent you face. At number 1, this is the most explosive new pass play in Madden 26. The play is Mtn Mesh Rail in the formation gun Y-off trio close, and you always want to run this with your trips receivers lined up on the wide side of the field. The only adjustment is to put your middle receiver on a post, and before the snap, your outside receiver will come across in pre-snap motion. After the snap, the first two reads are on the two drags crossing over the middle of the field, and against man coverage, they can rack up a ton of yards after the catch. Remember that these are mesh drags, meaning against zone coverage, they're going to sit in the soft spots in between the zone defenders, allowing you to pick up easy gains over the middle. The third read is your motion receiver on the wheel route, and against cover 2 shells, you can hit him with a pass lead straight down to rack up some really nice gains on the outside. The final read is the middle receiver on the post, and against man coverage, make sure you pass lead the ball out in front of him to keep it away from the trailing defender. And against zone coverage, make sure you pass lead the ball down to keep it underneath the defenders playing over top, and you may even be able to haul in an easy touchdown. At number 2, this is one of the most unstoppable new plays in Madden 26. The play is Mtn Flood H-Sneak in the formation gun tray open, and you always want to run this on a hash with your trips receivers lined up on the wide side of the field. Before the snap, the adjustments are to put your inside trips receiver on a crosser, put your solo receiver on a drag, and put your running back on a flat route. After the snap, the first read is the running back in the flat, and if the outside cornerbacks are playing off, then you can immediately throw to him for easy yards on the outside. The second read is the solo receiver on the drag, and against zone coverage, you can hit him in a soft spot underneath the linebackers, while against man coverage, just pass lead the ball out in front of him to keep it away from the trailing defender. The third read is the inside trips receiver on the crosser, and against zone coverage, the motion streak will clear out defenders in deep blue zones, and you can hit the crosser with a pass lead down and outside for a monster completion. The final read is the outside receiver on the deep dig route, and if everything else is covered, look for him to come open late. Use a high ball to get your pass over the linebackers, and you may find yourself coming down with a touchdown. At number 3, this new pass play obliterates zone coverage in Madden 26. The play is motion vert shallow cross in the new formation gun bunch tight end strong, and you always want to run this with your bunch receivers lined up on the wide side of the field. The only adjustment is to put your middle bunch receiver on a deep cross, and once you press the hike button, your inside bunch receiver will motion across the formation. After the snap, the first read is the instant throw to the outside bunch receiver on the wheel route, and if the defense is playing off, then you can steal some quick yards on the outside. The second read is the tight end on the drag, and against zone coverage, you can hit him underneath the linebackers for easy yards over the middle, and if your opponent surprises you with man coverage, make sure you pass lead the ball out in front of him so you can keep your momentum and rack up plenty of yards after the catch. The third read is the running back on the wheel route, and against cover 3 and cover 4 shells, you can hit him with a pass lead down to attack the soft spots underneath the deep blue zones. The final read is the middle bunch receiver on the crosser, and against every type of zone coverage, the crosser will get wide open after the streak clears out space for him to get open underneath. At number 4, this is the glitchiest RPO in Madden 26. The play is Mtn RPO Read Flat in the formation gun tight open, and you always want to run this with your running back lined up on the wide side of the field. Before the snap, you always want to identify the read key and pass key defenders who will have R and P icons above their head. When you press the hike button, your receiver will come in motion across the formation, and after the snap, if the pass key defender doesn't commit to guarding the flat, then you can hit your motion receiver and follow your blockers for some huge gains on the outside. If the throw doesn't look open, then you need to immediately read the read key defender. If the read key sprints in, then hold A on Xbox or X on PlayStation to keep the ball with your quarterback, and then just take off into the open space in front of you and slide before getting hit. If the read key stays outside, then don't press anything to hand the ball off to the running back and take it straight up the middle. At number 5, this is the best new play action pass in Madden 26. The play is Mtn PA Flood Under in the formation gun tight slots, and you always want to run this with your running back lined up on the short side of the field. Before the snap, the adjustments are to put your short side outside receiver on a streak and put your wide side outside receiver on a deep cross. When you press the hike button, the short side inside receiver will go in pre-snap motion for the wheel route. After the snap, the first read is the short side outside receiver on the streak, and against cover 3 shells, you can hit him with a pass lead down in the soft spot up the seam. The second read is the short side inside receiver on the wheel route, which can get wide open on the outside against cover 2 shells, and then you just have to make defenders miss on your way to the end zone. The third read is the wide side inside receiver on the drag, and if the defenders are playing off, then go ahead and hit the drag for easy yards underneath. The final read is the wide side outside receiver on the crosser, and he can get wide open after the streaks pull defenders back, leaving a ton of open space for you to hit him for a massive gain. At number 6, this is one of the most unstoppable new pass plays in Madden 26. The play is motion levels Y-Corner in the formation gun trips tight end, and you always want to run this with your trips receivers lined up on the wide side of the field. Before the snap, the adjustments are to put your middle trips receiver on a deep cross and put your tight end on a streak. When you press the hike button, your running back will go in pre-snap motion on a motion swing, and after the snap, the first read is the motion swing, which you can hit for easy yards in the flat if the defense is playing off. The second read is the inside trips receiver on the drag, and if the linebackers aren't guarding underneath, then you can hit him for easy, reliable yards over the middle. The third read is the outside trips receiver on the in route, and against zone coverage, you can hit him in the soft spot between the zones, while against man coverage, he has a super high chance of beating his man to the inside, and after the catch, he'll have a ton of running room in front of him. The final read is the middle trips receiver on the crosser, and against man coverage, make sure you pass lead the ball away from the trailing defender, while against zone coverage, make sure you pass lead the ball down and outside and possession catch it for an easy completion along the sideline. At number 7, this is the best play in Madden 26 for beating man coverage. The play is SFT motion stack Poco in the formation gun Y off trio weak, and you always want to run this with your tight end initially lined up on the wide side of the field. When you press the hike button, your tight end will motion across the formation and then get set. Then, your outside receiver will also come inside on pre-snap motion. After the snap, you have 3 different man-beating routes to read. The first read is the outside receiver on the stutter slant, and this route obliterates man coverage. Just wait for him to cross the field, and you can hit him in stride with a ton of running room after the catch. The second read is the solo receiver on the post corner route, and this route also destroys man coverage, so as long as you wait for him to get through his break, then you'll have an easy completion on the outside. Final read is the slot receiver on the deep speed out, and if the first 2 routes are somehow guarded, then he's a perfect third option for beating man coverage to the outside, and if you can stay in bounds, you can rack up a ton of yards down the sideline. At number 8, this new motion pass play is unstoppable in Madden 26. The play is motion mesh post in the formation gun cluster halfback strong, and you always want to run this with your bunch receivers lined up on the wide side of the field. When you press the hike button, your tight end will motion across the formation and then briefly get set. After the snap, the first 2 reads are on the 2 drags crossing over the middle of the field, and against man coverage, they can rack up a ton of yards after the catch. Remember that these are mesh drags, meaning against zone coverage, they're going to sit in the soft spots in between the zone defenders, allowing you to pick up easy gains over the middle. The third read is the tight end on the shallow fade route, and against cover 2 shells, you can hit him with a pass lead down to pick up easy yards along the sideline. The final read is the middle receiver on the post route, and against zone coverage, make sure you pass lead the ball down to keep it underneath the defenders in deep blue zones, while against man coverage, just pass lead the ball out in front of him to keep it away from the trailing defender. At number 9, this is the most broken new option play in Madden 26. The play is speed option in the formation pistol ace double wing, and you can run this from either hash. Before the snap, you need to quickly identify the pass key defender who will have a P icon above his head, and after the snap, you'll want to run parallel to the line of scrimmage with your quarterback. If the pass key is out of position or gets caught up on the inside, then just keep the ball with your quarterback and pick up as many yards as you can on the outside without getting hit. And if the pitch key defender crashes in on the quarterback, then press LB on Xbox or L1 on PlayStation to pitch the ball out to your running back, and then it's just a foot race on the outside to see who can get to the end zone first. At number 10, this is the most unique read option play in Madden 26. The play is motion power read toss in the formation gun bunch tight end, and you can run this from either hash. Before the snap, you need to identify the read key defender who will have an R icon above his head. After the snap, if the read key stays outside, then hold A on Xbox or X on PlayStation to keep it with your quarterback and take off up the middle. But if the read key comes crashing in, then don't press anything to toss the ball out to your running back and then sprint ahead to hopefully pick up some massive gains on the outside. At number 11, this new Madden 26 pass play bombs cover 3 for a 1-play touchdown. The play is motion Z Choice in the formation gun tight slot flip, and you always want to run this on a hash with your running back lined up up on the wide side of the field. Before the snap, put your wide side inside receiver on a streak and block your running back. After the snap, you just need to buy a few seconds in the pocket, and as long as you have time, the short side corner route will pull down the cornerback in the outside third, and then you can launch it to your outside receiver on the deep post for the massive one-play touchdown. At number 12, this is one of the best plays in Madden 26 for attacking zone coverage. The play is motion corners in the formation gun Y-off trips close, and you always want to run this with your running back lined up on the short side of the field. The only adjustment is to put your tight end on a streak, and after the snap, the first read is the solo receiver on the outside hitch. If the cornerback is playing off, then you can immediately hit him with a bullet pass to steal some quick yards. The second read is the running back on the Texas route, and after the streak clears out space, he can get wide open over the middle of the field. The third read is the slot receiver on the corner route, and if you catch your opponent in a cover 2 shell, then you can hit the corner route with a pass lead down and outside for an easy completion along the sideline. The final read is the delayed slant route, and if nothing else is open, you should be able to find him in a pocket of open space between the zone defenders. At number 13, this is the best under center pass play in Madden 26. The play is Y trail X cross in the formation single back toad X nasty, and you always want to run this on a hash with your tight end lined up on the wide side of the field. After the snap, the first read is the quick slant over the middle, and against zone coverage, you can hit him right away if the linebackers are playing off, and against man coverage, he'll always torch his man defender, so just hit him with a pass lead outside and rack up as many yards as you can after the catch. The second read is the running back on the delayed flat route, and if your opponent doesn't have hard flats on the field, then this is guaranteed free yards on the outside. The third read is the tight end on the trail route, and against zone coverage, you can almost always find a soft spot between the linebackers over the middle, and against man coverage, this trail route absolutely cooks, so you just have to let him get through his break and then hit him in stride for some massive gains. The final read is the solo receiver on the crosser, and after the streak pulls defenders deep, the crosser can get wide open for some monster gains along the sideline. At number 14, this might be the most unstoppable new play in Madden 26. The play is motion whip Y cross in the formation gun box halfback strong, and you always want to run this on a hash with your running back lined up on the wide side of the field. Before the snap, the only adjustments are to put your solo receiver on a streak and put your inside receiver on a flat route. When you press the hike button, your outside receiver will come in pre-snap motion, and after the snap, your first read is the inside receiver on the flat route, and if the cornerbacks are playing off, then you can steal some easy yards on the outside. The second read is the motion receiver on the drag, who you can hit for easy yards underneath if the linebackers are playing back. The third read is the running back on the wheel route, and against zone coverage, you can hit him in a pocket of open space after the other routes pull the zone defenders apart, while against man coverage, you can lob your pass up and over the top and just let him outrun the linebacker manned up on him. The final read is the middle receiver on the crosser, and against any zone coverage, you just have to pass lead the ball down and outside for a huge completion along the sideline, and against man coverage, just pass lead the ball out in front of him to keep it away from the trailing defender. At number 15, this play absolutely destroys zone coverage in Madden 26. The play is motion halfback sluggo in the formation gun double Z close, and you always want to run this on a hash with your running back lined up on the short side of the field. Before the snap, the only adjustments are to put your slot receiver on a streak and put your running back also on a streak. After the snap, the first read is the tight end on the flat route, and as long as you pass lead the throw up, then you can pick up some really easy yards on the outside. The second read is the running back on the streak, and if the flat route pulls zone defenders outside, then you can easily hit the running back in a soft spot up the seam. The third read is the solo receiver on the out and up, and against backed off zone coverage, you can hit him early over the middle, or if the defenders are taking away the underneath routes, then wait for him to get over the linebackers and hit him with a pass lead down for huge gains over the deep middle. The final read is the outside receiver on the stop and in route, and if the other routes pull zone defenders deep, then you can hit him late over the middle for easy yards and maybe even a touchdown. So those are the 15 most unstoppable new plays in Madden 26. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do me a huge favor by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel so that I know you want to see more videos just like this one. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.